When it comes to the private pilot airman certification standards, the bar is on the floor for weather knowledge. Add to that, weather is a discipline in and of itself, and it's one in which even the industry professionals don't always agree. There's also a great chance that your instructor doesn't have great weather comprehension, knowledge, and application. And their instructor didn't have great weather knowledge, comprehension, and application, and their instructor, and their instructor, and their instructor. Now we've got this system where we have fairly low standards, information that's inherently difficult to understand, and we have poor dissemination of information. The ultimate result is that we have a population of general aviation pilots who don't have great weather comprehension. They don't really know how to do an in-depth weather briefing, and they don't have a process to even know where to begin to do it. In flight training, we focus on the use of checklists to prevent accidents, to make sure that we're going through all the processes that we need to at the time that it's appropriate. The regulations say that we've got to be familiar with weather reports and forecasts, but what kind of weather? Wouldn't a step-by-step process help pilots keep track of the important details? I should probably introduce myself. I'm Erica. I'm a flight instructor, and teaching people how to become safe pilots is my full-time job. This YouTube channel, AeroSafe, is my passion project. The goal is to try and help bridge the gap between weather hazards and pilot decision-making. Throughout this journey, I've seen both student and certificated pilots alike feel a little apprehensive and unsure about their weather knowledge. And the data supports that. Weather is still a causal or contributing factor in far too many general aviation accidents. And the worst part is pilots don't even know where to begin, how to improve their weather knowledge. The assumption is that your weather knowledge will improve with flight experience. But if you're only checking the weather on the days that you're going to fly, you're missing out on countless opportunities. Assuming you have some basic weather theory under your belt, so pressure systems, frontal systems, and a general understanding of the weather that exists with those systems, the next step in improving your weather knowledge to enhance your weather-related decision-making is practicing weather briefings, even when you have no intention to fly. I would guess that this is how you were taught to do weather briefings.
If you were taught to do weather briefings at all, it was probably through an electronic flight bag, where you put in your departure, destination, choose your airplane, make sure you've got the performance profile in there with your climb and cruise information. Select an altitude appropriate for your route of flight, and then send to flights. Then you probably made sure you had your correct departure time. Once you do that, you could populate a weather briefing. Now, most people were probably just taught to look at the METARs, make sure everything is within their personal limitations and VFR, and then skip ahead to TAFs. Make sure everything's VFR along your route of flight, and then go over to the winds aloft table. Maybe get your performance information from that. Skip through all the NOTAMs, and then check weather briefing complete. And if you had a good instructor, you may have been taught to call the weather briefer.
Maybe your weather briefings have been good enough up to this point. If you're feeling like maybe though, when you're done, you feel like you might be missing a piece of important information, that is probably because the process is not clearly defined. Your instructors have probably not given you a well-defined path to know when a weather briefing is done and that you've hit all of the necessary components. With this in mind, I've made a tool for you to use that walks you through a complete weather briefing. The AeroSafe Weather Brief Checklist. We incorporate FAA regulations, best practices, tips and things to look out for, integrate your personal minimums, all to help you complete a thorough weather briefing. Remember that even with a thorough weather briefing, weather can and does change rapidly and into conditions that were not predicted or forecast. Always be prepared with an alternate plan. This first iteration of the checklist is likely to undergo many changes as I continue to use it and as you use it and maybe come up with questions or comments that could improve it. You can access the checklist at the link below, free for your use. My one request is that you leave a comment below telling me how you anticipate using it for the first time. Are you going to use it for an upcoming flight? Are you going to use it to practice daily, a daily practice of weather briefing? Let me know, and if you have any questions or comments along the way, please also feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this tool will help keep you, your friends, and your families safe. Have fun, fly safe.